After an exciting wild card weekend, today the matchups for the divisional round of the NFL playoffs are set. The Kansas City Chiefs advance to take on the Patriots in New England. The Green Bay Packers move on to face the Arizona Cardinals.
The Seattle Seahawks will head to Charlotte to play the Carolina Panthers, and the Pittsburgh Steelers will be in the Mile High City to face the Denver Broncos.
Senior NFL writer for CBSSports.com, Will Brinson, joins us now via Skype. Great to see you, Will.
Thanks for having me, guys. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you. So we saw a few excruciating losses over the weekend. What were some of the biggest surprises for you from the wild card weekend?
Well, for the first time in NFL history, all four road teams won in a single weekend. You never see that. Usually home field advantage is a big boon, but coming in, three of these four teams that were road teams were actually favored to win the game. The only one, the underdog, was Aaron Rodgers against the Washington Redskins, and the Packers still managed to win handily. So that was really surprising to see. I thought we saw a thematic quarterback thing kind of pop up. You look at the quarterbacks involved: Alex Smith better than Brian Hoyer, Ben Roethlisberger better than A.J. McCarron, Aaron Rodgers better than Kirk Cousins. I mean, it goes on and on. Russell Wilson better than Teddy Bridgewater. It pays to have a quarterback in the NFL. Of course, it was stunning to see Blair Walsh, the Minnesota Vikings kicker, miss a 27-yard chip shot at the end of a frozen game in Minnesota. It's a really tough loss for the Vikings there, and the Seahawks move on from that.
So looking ahead, what are some of the key storylines heading into week 2 of the playoffs?
Really interesting to see Seattle and Carolina. I think Seattle, and I wrote about this on CBSSports.com last night and for this morning, Seattle's a really dangerous playoff team. They've been to Carolina 3 times in the last 4 years and played them in Charlotte and beaten them in really close games. I think that's going to be a fascinating game to watch, especially because Doug Baldwin is a #1 receiver, but he doesn't play outside. He likes to play in the slot, and that means it's going to be difficult for the Panthers to put Josh Norman on him and have him blanket him. Tyler Lockett is a deep threat that can take the top off of defenses. Carolina very banged up in the secondary. And you're going to see a rematch between the Cardinals and the Packers. Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in football, but he's played pretty bad. I mean, for the last couple of months. And then all of a sudden against Washington, he just turns it on in the second quarter, looks dynamic. After a 1-8 for 11-yard start, he comes on, he plays really well. He leads the Packers to a win. And they played the Cardinals just a couple of weeks ago and got absolutely throttled. He was sacked 8 times.
Wow.
So very interesting to see how Mike McCarthy utilizes their protection schemes and how they try to beat that dynamic Cardinals defense.
So for the fans at home, which games coming up this weekend are a must-see?
The ones on CBS, I think, are the. No, they're all really good games. I mean, you look at, I think it's really interesting to see the Patriots only favored by 5 points. I thought it would be a little bit more, and certainly this Broncos Steelers game is going to be really interesting to watch from a quarterback perspective. Remember, Peyton Manning took over for Brock Osweiler to help the Broncos secure that #1 seed. So Manning is going to get the start this week. Nobody knows how he's going to fare. He has he's played very well this season, only one time, but played very well coming off of 2 weeks rest against the Packers earlier in the regular season. The Steelers we don't know what the status for Ben Roethlisberger is. He's got a hurt shoulder. Antonio Brown dealing with a concussion, so we don't know his status either. A lot of stuff up in the air in terms of this Broncos and Steelers game, but I think most of all, people will want to see how Peyton Manning performs in the cold under the bright lights of the playoffs.
All right, definitely. And before we let you go, what's your take for tonight, the college championships, Clemson versus Bama? Who do you think is going to come out on top?
I have been on the wrong side of Nick Saban. I just can't pick Nick Saban well lately, but I'm an ACC guy. I think Dabo Swinney, you go the entire year and you're undefeated and you're the #1 team in the country. You don't lose. You take care of business every week, and nobody's giving you a chance. I think that the way that Dabo Swinney motivates his players, being a player's coach, being so excited on the sidelines, I think he's going to get them up, get them to believe, that no one believes in them. And I think Clemson pulls a stunning win to take the first national title in like 34 years.
All right. Maybe we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Will Brinson.
Right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot.